Welcome, guys. I echo what Coach Johnson said earlier. I appreciate you guys taking time to be here, and excited to chat with you guys and answer any questions you maybe have.
Your earliest recollection of LSU baseball?
Yeah. Well, probably even in elementary, middle school, when Coach Burtman was coaching those great teams in the 90s, and seeing them on TV, seeing them in Omaha. And then obviously had a chance to coach in this stadium in 2012 when I was an assistant coach at Appalachian State. And so I've been in this environment, know it's the best in college baseball, and excited to be part of that.
Hey, Coach. So, what aspects of your recruiting philosophy sort of match up with Coach Johnson? I'm just sort of curious that what are some of the things that you two sort of share in that aspect of the game?
Well, everywhere I've been, regardless of the situation, I've always focused on what we have, not what we don't have. And I think at LSU, you have the best in the country. This is the New York Yankees of college baseball. And so what we focus on is Omaha caliber players, guys that are going to get us in the national championship game each and every year. So when you go out and you evaluate who actually falls into that category for us, that's who you attack. And then you put everything invested into that individual, and to get him here to Baton Rouge. Along those same lines, I mean, our recruiting is collective. You know, one of the reasons I know he mentioned YJ for Wes. For me, in today's world, the head coach has to be engaged in the recruiting process. You cannot get those top 15 players in the country into your campus if he's not, and that's why Jay's the hardest working head coach in the country in terms of recruiting, and getting the chance to work beside him was an unbelievable opportunity for me. So.
Yeah, I just kind of along those lines. How did you and Jay connect? Have y'all like met previously, or kind of what's the onset of your relationship?
Yeah, great question. I've had that question a lot. When I first got to Duke, Jay was at San Diego, and I came from a place, Appalachian State, which was very state-oriented recruiting, to regional at best. And we jumped onto kind of a national landscape, just like LSU. I mean, it's a national brand. And having to go throughout the country, what I started doing was watching guys and looking at programs that were similar to ours. Where were they finding players? What were they doing? What events? What teams were they watching? All those things. And Arizona Fall Classic, things like that. Jay was always there, and don't claim to be the smartest guy in the room, but I feel like I'm a pretty good observer. And I watched where Jay Johnson went. What teams did he watch? What teams did he focus on? What players? Those sorts of things. And so kind of just through casual observation said, okay, that guy does it the right way at a place that's very similar to what I'm at. Let me mimic what he does. And started kind of building that relationship, just crossing paths with him. And like I said moments ago, he's the hardest working head coach in recruiting in the country. And so it's a good guy to learn from, watch from, and kind of built that relationship from there.
Coach, not to any one specific player, but just in general, how often are you getting questions about NIL dollars from players, parents, to potentially offset what they would be foregoing in bonus money to go straight to professional baseball?
Yeah, great question, because it is the buzzword right now, and the phrase, and it's kind of what a lot of student athletes at the high school level are focused on. So we do get questions about that a lot. But understand something, and Jay mentioned it yesterday to our players in the team meeting. First and foremost, LSU is a great education, and you come here to get that degree. And so it's what you're putting together in terms of a package. And so we're going to focus on every single component of that package to make this the best situation for any player in the country. And so we do get that question a lot. It comes up. This athletic department is at the forefront of that. So that, again, just one more thing we can sell when we're out recruiting and talking with families.
Just curious what your in-season duties will be, who you work with as far as fielders, and then what do you want to get out of this? Obviously, working with Jay and flexing your brain the way you can, in certain spaces. At the end of this, what do you want for yourself?
Yeah, great question. Number one, I'll be working with the catchers and first baseman and helping in any capacity that I can with the hitters. One of the things Jay asked me when we were interviewing was, can you throw BP? And I said, yes, and I'm very good at it. And so, I'm going to help however I'm always here as a coach to echo what Wes mentioned moments ago. There's no off switch in this profession. And so I help anyhow I can, but mainly with the catchers and first basemen. In terms of what do I want to get out of this, a national championship, because this is a place you can do that, number one. And then, things that I think people that know me, that are close to me, understand that I enjoy the recruiting process. I enjoy sitting down, meeting families, and connecting with families. And sometimes when you make a transition somewhere else into a head coaching role, you don't get to maybe do that as much. I like working the phone. I like talking with scouts. I like talking with travel coaches, junior college coaches. That's just something I enjoy. And, I want to be here and win a national championship and more than one. So, so that's what I'm looking to get out of this. And also develop players. I think something that I know a lot of the focus about me has been on the recruiting piece. I still think I'm really good at developing players. I think I've done a really good job of coaching catchers and developing players where I've been, and that's important to me. It's not just going out and bringing the best players here, which we will be able to do. It's also developing those players in a really good system that Coach Johnson has in place.
Coach, over here. Is there something that's kind of fun about being able to recruit the player pool that you are here and with the brand of LSU?
A lot of fun. Like I mentioned earlier, everywhere I've been, I've tried to focus on it being a baseball decision. Yeah, the education's been important, and it is an important piece of the process. I've always been focused on, are we getting the best baseball player for our program? And at LSU, what makes it a lot of fun is you are. You're getting a chance to handpick from that top 50 players in the country that you want to be part of your program. Who are the right fits academically, who are the right fits character-wise, and all those things. And so that's a lot of fun to me. Like I told you, I have a passion for that, and that's important for me in my development as a coach, is continue to push that envelope. Jay mentioned recruiting classes. Our goal is every year I set a high standard for myself and for this program recruiting-wise. We want the #1 recruiting class in the country. We will not settle for less than that. We're going to work hard to get that.